Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and it seems there's some Xbox news floating around that we need to kind of get down and talk about. One of them, of course, is to talk about acquisitions, because acquisitions are good, right? Since Kadakawa, acquisitions are now good, so I don't want to see anyone from that blue camp coming over and start spouting about saying acquisitions are bad. Since Kadakawa, they have no more complaints. Acquisitions are good. This is on them. But we've also got news on the Xbox Handheld. Now, this isn't exactly what you think it is, but I think it's also a good proof of concept to see where it's going. And in all honesty, as much as I want Microsoft to make their own one, I think this is probably the best approach for them until they actually get like a sandbox system running. And even if they don't, emulators are the way to actually get things working anyway. But, you know what? Let's have the drop and let's get it into it. So, as you can see from this one, AJ Investment CEO Jiraj Krupa said in a statement that Ubisoft is horribly mismanaged by current management, report claiming EA and Microsoft are in discussion to acquire Ubisoft IPs. Now, a lot of people have been saying Riders Republic or, Assassin's Creed is, a fan favorite. In all honesty, I think they should just acquire the Tom Clancy IP. The Tom Clancy IP has a plethora of games, from Splinter Cell to Ghost Recon to The Division. There's a load of games there. And what's the one thing that Microsoft likes to do more than anything else? Have live service. And there is a lot of live service potential there. Rainbow Six Siege, The Division, loads of stuff there that would sit right at home within the Xbox ecosystem library and within the Xbox ethos. I think the Tom Clancy IP would be an absolute steal if they can actually take it. Of course, I wouldn't want the Division franchise to actually die off, and it would be interesting to see how that would work, because I honestly don't believe that the Division IP would be what it is today without the actual developers. So, Yannick and his team are doing a fantastic job, and so I'd really like to see them still working on this, even if that acquisition was done. But it would also mean that these games are going to be day one on Game Pass. A new Splinter Cell, a new Rainbow Six, a new whatever game, Ghost Recon, it will be day one on Game Pass, which is absolutely awesome. But what do you want from Ubisoft? If they were out for the picking, and this rumor is true, what would be your studio preference of choice? Like for me, when I say studio, I mean IP. For me, it has to be Tom Clancy. If I could pick only one IP, it has to be Tom Clancy, because the plethora of games that are available there is just crazy. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. So, we've got this bit of news here, and it looks like the information about the Xbox branded handheld PC is, starting to come thick and fast. It does exist. It's going to land this year. Now, this isn't what you think it is. A lot of people are going around, and I've seen a lot of publications going about saying that essentially this is Microsoft's first party device. It is not. This is a partner device. I've also seen some dumb idiots from the blue side trying to call out Jez for saying that this is a first party device when he's never said no such thing. Breaking news, they really are that stupid. So, what this actually is a partner device. As you can see here, you're probably going to have like an Xbox logo somewhere. You're going to have an Xbox guide button. These buttons are all going to be, as you can see, that they've already been kind of superimposed with the Xbox buttons. So it's going to be Xboxified. It's going to boot up with an Xbox logo. And apparently Asus are the ones leading this charge. Now, obviously, other OEMs are going to want to take part in this. Lenovo probably not, as they've decided to partner with Steam OS. I personally think that the Windows approach just provides you better value for your gaming. You have access to so many other things. Now, obviously, this isn't what people were hoping for in terms of a true handheld device that would actually play their Xbox games. Now, if the games aren't play anywhere, which is the key problem here, the games just, the games you purchase on Xbox won't be available to play on your handheld. This is why this whole Xbox trying to be this is an Xbox, this play anywhere notion, it kind of has to apply to every game you buy. Otherwise, it doesn't work because it's no longer an Xbox. If I buy a game on my Xbox, then I can't play it on on my handheld or on my PC. If I have to buy it again, that defeats the whole purpose. It's no longer an Xbox. You see where I'm going with this? That's why this whole thing was premature. It's good that they actually finally came out and basically said, we no longer care about one specific platform. We just want to be agnostically everywhere, while supporting other platforms as well. But that's kind of something that they need to get under wraps. Now, if we kind of go into this article, doesn't really tell you as much as you'd think it would, but Microsoft is working on a partner gaming handheld with Asus set to launch later this year called Project Kennan, not Kennan as it was originally thought. Kennan, not Kennan as I previously wrote, is an OEM-built PC gaming handheld that is core akin to the Asus ROG Ally or Lenovo Go, and is set to launch later this year. Now, the pricing for this, he said, is roughly going to be around $500 to $600. That will probably translate pound to pound, but obviously with the tariffs that has been introduced from the US, that could change quite a bit. He's made it clear that this isn't going to be playing your series games and stuff like that, but what this handheld device should be able to run is Xenia. Xenia is a 360 emulator that works really, really well, and hopefully it's the new Ace, whatever this Asus device is going to be powerful enough to be able to run it. So at least you can play your 360 games that way. Obviously, make sure you've got the official game and you dump your original ROM, yada yada yada. But you get what I'm saying. But this is where it comes, right? For those who are hoping Kennan would play Xbox games, I'm sorry to report that this is a tried and true Windows PC. And really, Microsoft has been kind of pushing to that, which is why I've been saying for quite a while now that the next Xbox is going to be just a regular PC. It's going to be a console form, but it's going to be a PC. Because that's where they want to go. That way, developers don't really have to develop specifically for the Xbox, because the games will be on there by default anyway, because they're going to be available on PC. So it kind of defeats this whole problem where games are skipping Xbox, because now if they're essentially just a Windows machine wrapped around in a shell that basically gives you a console experience, you wouldn't know, you'd be none the wiser to the fact that Windows is basically underneath all that. And well, all the games that they say is skipping, like Wukong, would essentially be available day one. The whole third-party exclusivity for console only would no longer exist, essentially, because at that point, most of the games are releasing day and date with PC. So at that point, third-party games, they're going to be available on Xbox as well. So that is, I think, how Microsoft is looking to get around this problem. They've been kind of going down this path for quite a while, really since 2017, but have finally seemed to have got there. They say only games that fall under Xbox Play Anywhere will work on as a single purchase entity across the Xbox One, Series X, and Kennan. Much like the Asus ROG Ally X and Lenovo Go, cloud gaming will also extend to gaming if you've got Game Pass Ultimate. Since it's a Windows PC in gaming handheld form, you will also be able to natively run game stores like Steam, Battle.net, and GOG, which means you'll have access to PlayStation games on this device as well. It's basically an Asus, just think of an Asus ROG, and that's basically what this is, right? But just rebranded. But I think it's, for now, I think this is the right approach. They need to get something out there right now in order to get into that mix, to show that they are here with the rest of them to deliver something. Considering they've been talking about the handheld for quite some time, I think, they've left it way too late. And the handheld that they're actually talking about actually makes sense to release next year or the year after, in line with the actual console. Now, there is talks and murmurings that I've heard that the next console is basically going to be just a handheld that can dock into a box that will essentially have more power. So the console itself the handheld device will basically be the Series S, and the dock itself, powered by the handheld itself as well, connecting it to make it whole, would be the Series X equivalent, if you're looking at what they're doing. Now, that's obviously something that is not corroborated, and I'm not going to reveal where I've heard that from, but that is one way of looking at it. The other way is that they are going to release their handheld together with the console so they can work in tandem. So it's one of the two, really. But either way, their version of the handheld won't be coming anytime soon, at least until the next hardware is available. And that makes sense because you don't want to get them out of sync. You want to get it as powerful as possible so it can be as close as possible to the main device. But at the same time, they're going to have the problem they have today by essentially creating multiple SKUs. Now it says, as such, I don't think Asus or Microsoft has placed a hard price on Kennan just yet. But I do know the target range, and it's actually not as bad as expected. It is basically around $500 or $599, potentially. Nice, and for a huge grain of salt, the tariffs and stuff like that might be a problem. The difference between them might be just a larger SSD or something like that. But then, there's talk about right now AMD at the CES, at CES unveiled their Ryzen Z2 Extreme chip, which I don't think is, and I think Jez also says that it's not actually being implemented in anything just yet. I think Lenovo is getting ready for their Lenovo Go 2 in order to actually have it, but that's not released yet. So it's interesting to see where this all lands. The AMD Ryzen Z2 Go will probably be the cheaper one, and I think obviously the Z2 Extreme will be the more expensive one. Now, I kind of hope that they go with the Z2 Go, rather just go with the Z2 and the Z2 Extreme, or just forego the Z2 Go and the Z2 and just go straight for the Extreme and let people buy it, right? But time will tell how they go about it. But this isn't what people think it originally is. Now, Microsoft do have their Microsoft build slated for May 19th, 2025. There is also the Xbox Summer Showcase, which is usually the first week of June. People are saying it's the 8th because there's now a Microsoft Countdown website, and that's counting down to the 8th of June. So one of these two will potentially show this new device. Now, obviously, Microsoft has been working very hard with the actual software side of things to get it working. So it's a no-brainer that they're going to be trying to push this at least this year to enter that market in one way or another. But yeah, it's interesting to see what Microsoft is doing and where they're going with it. And I know a lot of people are, some aren't happy with this direction. But I think it's quite interesting. And it'll be interesting to see how many people adopt this Xbox partnered device. If this will actually convince them to actually jump in and buy a handheld PC. They are pretty useful if you do have a use for them. Obviously, everything needs a use case. But I've been looking to get into an Asus ROG because I've got a Steam Deck, but I want native Game Pass and I don't have it, and Steam Deck will probably never support that for the foreseeable future. So, and I know you can go through installing Windows and stuff like that, but that's a hassle that I don't want to deal with. So an Asus ROG or an Asus ROG Ally seems to be the right approach. But now with this partner device being talked about, Microsoft Build and the Summer Showcase isn't far away, and I think that's where they're going to show it. But where do you think they're going to unveil this partner device? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion, as I'd love to hear your thoughts. But with that said, if you have enjoyed this video, do hit that thumbs up, hit that red button to subscribe, and hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release. It's a free way to support me. You can support me further through the super thanks, or by becoming a YouTube member where you get content like this early. I am going to be streaming on Thursday alongside Chili, where we're going to be talking about the week's news, and we should be having a lot of fun. So hopefully you'll join me and Chili, and I'll see you then. If not, I'll see you in the next video. Whatever you choose, Have an awesome day, or an evening, depending on when you watch this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain legend.